Hello everyone, this is Charles again, the instructional designer for the Tanner Health System School of Nursing. And in today's session, what we're going to go over is reviewing Turnitin. You remember in our last tutorial, we showed you how to submit an assignment under the Assessments tab. Well, now we're going to show you how to go back in under the Assessments tab and click on Assignments. You can see this is the paper we submitted, and it's in this drop box, and that drop box has Turnitin Originality checked enabled. So to go in and look at our paper once the professor has graded it, we can click on the number here, and that will bring up the file. And this is the original file, so if you wanted to download it again to use it for something else, or maybe you lost your original copy on your computer and you need to get another one, you can always go back into the course and download your paper. And it'll keep a unchecked file of it. Now over here on the right, you see Turnitin similarity, 16%. The lower this number, the better. Okay. Next, we're going to click on the blue square here, because this will open up Studio Feedback, which is Turnitin's editing software. Now, chances are when you first get in here, you're probably not going to see anything at all lit up or marked up. So you'll probably have to turn these things on. So to turn them on, okay, we'll go back and show you real quick. Everything within Feedback Studio is based on layers. So we need to turn on the layers for similarity and for comments. So if we come over here to the right and we click on layers, and it shows active layers, turn on grading, you click that checkbox, and turn on similarity, you check that one. E-Rater is turned on by the instructor, and it has to do with grammar, which is pretty much, it does everything that Microsoft Word does or Grammarly does. It'll tell you something is a sentence fragment, or a comma splice, or it needs a comma, something of that nature. So your basic grammar and spelling errors will come up there. The paper I submitted is just a test paper, and it's actually done by what's called a Lorem Ipsum generator, which it just generates random Latin gibberish. But we run it through there just because it gives us a place so we can put comments. And we don't have to violate FERPA by using somebody else's paper. And we don't want to do that. So we got this paper and we got comments. To read these comments, you hover your mouse over the comment and click, and it will tell you support. So support needed. And it'll give you some information about how you can correct that. Down here we've got another one, commonly confused words. And you can read through and give you a description of that, what that means, and how you can best fix it. Now, if a professor has a comment about a particular paragraph or sentence or just word, they can highlight that, and then they can add a custom comment, which is like this. So this is a test comment, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, the other numbers you see here are related to similarity. Again, the lower the similarity score, the better. You do not want a 100 similarity score. That means pretty much somebody copied something and pasted it in there. Okay. But then again, you have to think about if you're writing a paper about the nursing shortage. Anything written within the last 10, 20 years is going to be talking about the impending and current nursing shortage. So you don't want that popping up all the time and telling you, you plagiarized that, because you didn't. It's just a statement. So similarity, you want to get it as low as you can, which may require you to go in, and your professors, and especially in the writing course, we'll talk about this, about how you can go in and how you can, fix things and how you can reduce that score. But to see what is matched up with all these various numbers here, we come over here and click on the similarity match overview number here. And this gives us the top 5 things that are similar somewhere else. Okay. And if you clicked on each one of these, it would take you out to that website and show you where it matches. So we're not really concerned with that at the moment, just so that you can see where things come from. And you notice all these are internet sources. If it was a paper, then it would say, what sentence matched, and it would tell you that a paper had been turned in. And a lot of times it'll tell you what university that paper was turned in at. Okay. So that would be how that would work. If you want to see all the sources that came up as matches, you can click here, and this will show you. And you can see, even though that's just random Latin gibberish over there, it's, it matches with all over the place. And it's probably because other people have used Lorem Ipsum generators and submitted, because you can see here a lot of that stuff is what it is. Okay, this last thing is a filter. And usually the professor will set the filters on their end of Turnitin. So, for example, the professor can set it to eliminate quotes, to exclude bibliographies. They can even tell it to eliminate words. Remember, we talked a minute ago about the words nursing shortage. So they could come in here, turn this on, set it to 2 words. And if it's a 2-word match, it's not going to pay attention to it. And that would help your score also. So if you did have nursing shortage in there a bunch of times in your paper, that would actually bring your score up. In other words, it'd give you a lower score. But again, most of that stuff is going to be set from the professor's end. Down here is the E-rater we talked about a minute ago, which is just grammar and whatnot. And like I said, since this is Latin gibberish, it's not going to give us any kind of rating. Now, a lot of times people want to review their papers outside of a computer. They want a hard copy, they want to sit down, they want to see what the professor said, and they want to be able to keep track of those comments. Well, you can do that by downloading your paper here, and it gives you 3 options. You can do the current view, which means it's going to give you the paper and the feedback. You can do digital receipt, which really just gives you the information of, the size of the paper, how many kilobytes, how many pages, how many letters, how many words, that kind of stuff. And then lastly, you get the original submitted file. If you download the original submitted file, that's going to give you a file without any kind of markup or anything on it. So if you just needed an extra copy of your downloaded file of your paper that you wrote, that's where you would get it from. So let's look at current view, because what current view is going to do is it's going to generate a PDF file. And you'll notice it appears down here in the bottom left-hand corner. It has my file name, but then it says PDF. So if I click on that, it's going to allow me to preview it inside of Google Chrome. And it gives us kind of a title page that has our file name and who turned it in, who submitted it. It gives us a little bit of submission information here. But then you'll notice it tells us the comments, and it shows us the numbers that are related to the other things. Now, if I click on these, you notice it's not going to do anything, okay? Because this is just a PDF file. So if we scroll down a little bit more, then it gives us our breakout as far as our originality score, how much of it met by each area, okay? And again, since that's Latin gibberish, these numbers really don't mean that much. But with your paper and you turn it in, it'll be really important for you to go through and look at these to see how they match up. And you notice even those filters, it shows that the filters were turned off. Now down here, if the instructor has left overall comment, it will go here, and when the professor grades it, it will show up here on the left. Then you remember those comments earlier, support needed, commonly confused. So it gives you all of that information listed here, and then that comment that was left, the test comment, blah, blah, blah. See, it's got it. So if you had multiple comments, they would be down there as well. So that's a good way to review your paper so you can go back and see it again and not necessarily be on the computer, because you can print this out and look at it wherever. Okay, so again, that's Feedback Studio, which is part of Turnitin, okay, which is attached to some but not all assignments, or what used to be called Dropboxes. And we click back here, it takes us back into the course, and we can go back to Course Home. Well, thank you for your time. I hope this helps you out with reviewing your Turnitin papers and looking at your papers after the professor has graded them. So if you have any questions again on Turnitin or on the assignment and Dropboxes and things of that nature, then please feel free to contact me. Again, my name is Charles Aiken, and I am the instructional designer at the Tanner Health System School of Nursing at the University of West Georgia.